world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them and do nothing. In the quiet moments of the late night, when darkness covers and everything seems to sink into silence, that saying rings out like the sound of an alarm bell, awakening us from the stupor of indifference. It is an uncompromising reminder that not only can evil actions destroy society, but it is our silence, when witnessing and not speaking out, that is the deep cause allowing evil the opportunity to develop like an uncontrollable disease. Imagine a scene. A person witnesses an act of injustice taking place, but instead of intervening or speaking out, they just stand there, eyes calmly watching as if everything were just an ordinary matter. That feeling, although not expressed in words, resounds powerfully in the hearts of other witnesses. That silence, gradually, becomes a protective shell for evil, allowing it to quietly cling to every nook and cranny of society, like small crevices through which injustice is nurtured and grows. These words are not simply a warning, but also an invitation for each person to embark on a journey of awakening. It is like a powerful self-questioning. Are you willing to give up the safety of passivity to stand up for what is right? Do you have enough courage to turn small gestures into collective strength, spreading the light of hope amidst the heavy atmosphere of injustice? Perhaps we will ask ourselves, how can a small action change the world? The answer lies in the power of spreading. Each time a person dares to speak out, even if it is just a word or a gentle gesture, they have contributed to creating a wave of change. A voice, like a faint spark, can ignite faith and courage in the hearts of those around. That is not only the power of words, but the power of action, of unity, and the spirit of not accepting injustice. Remember that silence is not indifference. It is an admission that we are abandoning our rights and responsibilities in building a just society. Each time we allow indifference to take hold of our hearts, we are complicit in wrongful actions, as if we are laying the foundation for the destruction of humanistic values. This world will not be destroyed by strong blows from the wicked, but by those moments when we, with all our ability, did not speak out, did not act to defend what is right. Imagine a community where everyone dares to speak out when they see injustice. Those voices, although not as resounding as a grand revolution, have boundless power. When each individual chooses not to be silent, when each action, no matter how small, is valued as the bricks building a solid wall that protects what is right, then evil will have no place to stand. That is the power of the spirit of unity, of individual courage connected together, creating a combined strength that can shake even the most negative systems. In an era where information is transmitted every second, the images of injustice, of the abuse of power, are always present everywhere. Those scenes are like unhealed wounds, demanding each one of us to timely take action, to speak out, and not allow silence to become an accomplice to them. A small action, it could be just a judgment, an uncompromising look, can inspire thousands, even millions of others to stand up against injustice. That courage is what helps change the course of history, and within each of us, even when we feel weak, tired, or afraid, there always exists a small flame, the flame of compassion, of a spirit that never accepts injustice. When we dare to ignite that flame, when we dare to stand up in the midst of the storm of indifference, we affirm that each person has the right to live in a just society, in a world where truth and righteousness are always honored. Do not let your own silence become the reason that allows evil to continue to be nurtured. Turn each moment of witnessing injustice into an opportunity to show courage, to convey the message that we never accept wrongdoing. Let your voice, however small, become a symbol of hope, of a future where compassion and justice always prevail. It is precisely in those moments when we dare to face evil, when we do not let indifference obscure our belief in what is right, that we contribute to building a solid foundation for society. A foundation where each person understands that their responsibility does not only end with living for themselves, but also living for the future of the community, for the good values that we want to pass on to the next generation. That saying, like an invitation, like a call from the depths of the heart, has set for us a challenge. Do we have enough courage to reject silence, to dare to speak out, to dare to act when we see what is wrong? That is not only a question, but also a profound self-reflection that each individual must answer. Because only when we dare to face our own fears, only when we do not allow indifference to control our lives, can we create a real difference. Open a new chapter for society, where justice, compassion, and truth are always placed first. Finally, the message of that saying reminds us that the world is not only shaped by the actions of evildoers, but also by the silence of those who witness. And it is within each of us that lies the power to change that. Let courage speak up. Let each small action of yours become the guiding flame for change, so that one day, injustice will no longer have a place in this world. Madness, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That is a statement that challenges the mind, opening up a sharp perspective on the contradiction in the way people face change. When hearing these words, one immediately senses the biting irony toward a conservative attitude, toward stagnation in action, a state that gradually causes the belief in progress to fade. These words are not merely a criticism of repeating old habits, but also an invitation for each individual to reflect, to dare to break the mold in order to create completely new outcomes. Imagine that every day we wake up and do the same things as yesterday, with the same methods, the same unchanging process, even though the surrounding circumstances have shifted. In that case, even if we yearn for a different outcome, the result is merely a reenactment of the past. This is like sowing seeds into a barren piece of land, waiting for a splendid garden, but only receiving wildflowers growing in the same pattern. That madness, in a metaphorical sense, is not about abnormality or insanity, but rather the self-deception in expecting change without daring to change one's methods. Those words resonate like an inspiring wake-up call. If we do not dare to step out of our comfort zone, if we do not dare to try new methods, then the expectation of a different result is nothing but an illusion. It makes us realize that to achieve progress, we need to break down the barriers imposed by old habits. Every morning, when facing the challenges of life, instead of automatically repeating familiar actions, ask yourself, is there any other way to solve this problem? That question opens the door to creativity, to the ability to view things from an entirely new angle. Remember that innovation does not come from repeating old actions and hoping for a sudden miracle. Success and progress both demand the boldness to change the way we think and work. When we dare to experiment, dare to face risks, and accept the possibility of failure, we are expanding our horizons. The initial mistakes are not the end, but rather valuable lessons from which we can adjust and improve. That is the process of continuous learning, the path leading to breakthrough creativity. Conservative thinking and being confined within familiar molds will only yield repetitive results, like an endless spiral. This statement serves as a challenge, calling on us to transform ourselves into explorers of new ideas, to dare to break free from the limits of old rules. It conveys a powerful message that if we want to see change, if we long for a different result, then the first thing we must do is change our way of doing things. In the modern world, where innovation is the key to success, we need to realize that development is not the result of meaningless repetition. It comes from daring to think differently, daring to act differently, and daring to embrace new challenges. Successful people are often those who are never afraid of change. They are always seeking opportunities to renew themselves and their surroundings. They understand that success only comes when we are willing to try ideas and methods that may initially seem crazy, yet deliver results beyond our expectations. This statement is not merely a criticism of repeating old actions, but also a profound reminder of the value of creativity and innovation. It makes us ask ourselves, why do I keep doing the same things without changing anything? And the answer lies in accepting that, to achieve something new, we must be willing to abandon old habits, dare to face uncertainty and risk. It is a difficult path, but it is precisely the path that leads to great achievements. Like a call from deep within, the These words invite us to bravely step out of our comfort zone, to open up a space for creativity and innovation. Let every day be an opportunity to try different approaches, so that from initial failures we can learn and progress. And when we look back, we will realize that true change comes from daring to do things differently, daring to break the mold, and daring to pursue a different result. With that message, we are reminded that no success comes from repeating the same old actions. Every step forward, however small, requires innovation, boldness in thought and action. And only when we dare to change can we expect different outcomes, things that we never imagined before. This is the invitation of creativity, a reminder that each of us can become a creator of the future if we know how to accept risks and dare to think differently. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. That saying is like an invitation for each person to expand the limits of their mind, to go beyond the confines of what has been learned and transmitted. It not only simply praises imagination, but also poses a great challenge. Dare to dream, dare to create, and never accept the limits of established knowledge. The knowledge that we accumulate over time through books and experience, no matter how valuable it is only the initial foundation for building breakthrough ideas. It is imagination, with its boundless power, that is the key that opens the door to possibilities that have never been explored. Reflecting on that saying, one can envision a vast picture where intelligence is not merely the mechanical collection of information, but also the ability to connect seemingly unrelated pieces, creating fresh and breakthrough ideas. When we dare to imagine things beyond reality, when we allow ourselves to dream of a different world, we are truly demonstrating the power of intelligence. It lies not only in the ability to remember and learn, but also in the capacity to transform ideas, inspirations into reality, thereby opening new horizons for humanity. Imagination is the driving force behind innovation, the source of inspiration for asking questions, exploring boundaries, and finding solutions to the most challenging problems. It makes us dare to try things we have never thought of, dare to take risks in pursuit of ideas that can change lives. Thanks to imagination, the great achievements in science, art, and technology have come into being, propelling humanity further along the path of development. Only when we know how to imagine can we create breakthroughs, revolutionary ideas that can change the course of an entire civilization. That saying is also like a gentle yet weighty reminder that true intelligence does not lie in what we already know, but in what we have yet to know, in the ability to expand the mind far beyond old limitations. It encourages us to continuously learn, never to be complacent with current knowledge, but always to seek ways to develop and create new things. Whenever we dare to dream, dare to imagine possibilities beyond reality, we lay the foundation for a promising future, where human limitations are only temporary barriers on the path to conquering greatness. Thus, the message of the saying is not merely to praise imagination, but also a challenge for each person to live fully with the belief that, although knowledge may be a useful tool, it is the power of imagination that helps us move forward and make a difference. This is an invitation for each person to continuously tap into their inner potential, so that every idea, every dream, no matter how distant it may seem, can become reality if we dare to imagine and act. All religions, art, and science are branches of the same tree. This saying opens up a comprehensive vision, suggesting that no matter how different and independent each field may appear, at its core, they all stem from the same source of inspiration, the desire to understand humanity and the universe. The profound meaning of the message lies in the fact that it paints a unified picture, where faith, artistic creativity, and scientific knowledge all contribute to uncovering the ultimate truths of existence. In doing so, we realize that even though each branch develops in its own direction, they cannot be completely separated from their common origin, which is humanity's need for truth, beauty, and meaning. The spiritual yearning expressed by religion is not merely a matter of faith, but also an effort to answer life's great questions, from the origin of the universe to the purpose of human life. At the same time, Art is the language of emotion and creativity, allowing people to express profound experiences, reflections on beauty, and the authenticity of life. Meanwhile, science, with its relentless spirit of discovery, helps us expand the boundaries of knowledge, thereby bringing about discoveries that change the way we perceive the world. The intersection of these three fields is like branches extending from the same trunk, each branch with its own color, yet all nurturing and supporting one another so that the tree of knowledge flourishes more brilliantly. Looking at it this way, we realize that the seemingly inviolable boundaries between religion, art, and science are merely superficial lines drawn by history and culture. In reality, all three share a common purpose: to explore and affirm spiritual values, laying the foundation for the progress of humanity. Each field offers different perspectives, yet they all aim to illuminate the mysteries of the universe and humanity. As a result, art can inspire scientists, while scientific discoveries open up new horizons for religion and art. This connection not only enriches our spiritual life, but also propels extraordinary advances in society. Furthermore, the saying also hints at a profound humanistic message. There is no path to truth or pure beauty that does not go through continuous processes of thought, creativity, and inquiry. Whether you pursue faith, art, or science, you are contributing to a collective process aimed at deciphering the mysteries of life and building a better future. Every branch of the tree, regardless of differences in form and method, contains seeds of hope, intelligence, and compassion, together creating a multidimensional picture of humanity. In a world where the fragmentation among fields is becoming increasingly pronounced, the saying is like a call towards unity, reminding us to open our hearts to embrace and learn from one another. The intersection of religion, art, and science not only enriches life, but also serves as a driving force to overcome existing challenges. It ignites a flame of passion, helping us realize that, in the end, all efforts serve a common purpose: to illuminate the path to truth, beauty, and the meaning of existence. With this perspective, each individual can find faith in the power of the convergence of knowledge, artistic inspiration, and spiritual belief. It is an invitation to broaden our vision, encouraging us not only to live by our own separate paths, but also to jointly create a world where every branch of the tree of knowledge contributes to a more complete whole. Through this, we come to deeply understand that, no matter which path we choose, all are branches of the same tree, a tree of exploration, intelligence, and faith in the future. In the modern life full of turbulence and constant change, we are always reminded that the strength of each individual does not lie in grand gestures, but in the ability to stand up and dare to say no to injustice, even through the smallest of actions. That reminder is like a torch lighting our path, encouraging each person to dare to overcome fear, to dare to reject apathy and silence in order to protect fundamental human values. If every individual dares to speak up, dares to act, then those voices will combine into a collective force that overcomes all limits, creating a solid foundation for a fair, compassionate, and hope-filled society. Imagine a world where each person deeply realizes that silence is tantamount to complicity with evil. A world where even the smallest actions of each person become precious bricks, contributing to the construction of a wall that protects what is right. When we dare to stand up, even with a single word or a sincere gesture, we not only protect ourselves but also inspire those around us, igniting the belief that change is never so monumental as to be impossible to achieve. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." That statement is not merely an assertion, but also an invitation for each person to question themselves, to reflect on whether they have done enough to contribute to the progress of society. It is a call to courage, a reminder that only when we refuse to remain silent, only when we dare to confront injustice, will the good values be spread and protected. With that spirit, the advice for everyone is to always hold on to faith and courage. Never stop learning, keep self-improving, and be ready to ask yourself, have I done enough to stand up for truth and justice? Every time you dare to speak up, every time you dare to act, even if it's just a small gesture, you contribute to creating positive change. This is not only an action for oneself, but also an action for the future of the entire community, for a world where compassion, fairness, and the spirit of unity are always cherished and protected. Remember that great change begins with small acts. There is no need to wait for monumental moments to act, because it is in the simple, everyday moments that you have the opportunity to create an invisible, yet immensely powerful impact. Let your voice resound among the crowd. Let your actions become a symbol of faith and courage. Every step you take, no matter how small, contributes to dispelling the darkness of injustice, to banishing the veil of indifference, and to opening the path to a brighter future. Finally, ask yourself, do I dare to abandon the safety of passivity in order to defend the values I believe in? That question is not only a self-reflection, but also a powerful call for everyone to act today. For only when all of us join hands will silence no longer be an option, and the voices of courage become the force that changes the world. Let courage and faith in justice guide you so that every action you take becomes a brick in building a society where truth, beauty, and compassion are always honored. From that, we will be proud to say that we have contributed to creating a world that not only exists, but also thrives. A world in which every person can freely express and spread the noble values of humanity.